Good evening, fight fans, and welcome to the historic Park Theater in Cranston, Rhode Island, and thank you for joining us tonight on Boxing TV. I am Michael Parenti, the voice of CES Boxing, joined once again by my broadcast partner, CES Boxing publicist Mariano Agmi. Mariano, welcome back to the booth tonight.
Thank you. It's only been a few weeks.
Only been a few weeks. We just saw you recently for Winter Brawl. Now we're back for Road Wars 5. We've got 6 exciting bouts tonight, including, Mariano, the long-awaited return of Providence's own Lamont Powell. Now, Lamont Powell, 6-0 record, undefeated, but the elephant in the room tonight, first fight in 3 years and in his second fight in 7 years. Lamont Powell's had a lot of time off. He turns 32 years old tonight, coming into the ring, trying to get that next step forward. So when you take a look at Lamont Powell, you think about the time he's had off and where he is in terms of age, what do we need to see in 2026 from Lamont, and does it begin tonight?
It all starts with activity. He is a fighter who doesn't have a lot of power. He has 2 knockouts in his 6 wins. So conditioning is very important for him. He's a guy who needs to move, who needs to outbox others. So he needs to be sharp, and that's why it starts tonight. One good thing about Lamont is that he's got this Gloves Up, Guns Down program, which is a boxing and mentorship program for the youth in Providence. So it keeps him in the gym at least, and he's teaching them how to box. He's in the gym. So he says that that has kept him sharp this whole time.
Powell tonight takes on Rodolfo Puentes from Colombia. That's going to be a real exciting fight. We also have tonight Gianni Ligori from Brantford, Connecticut, making his Rhode Island debut. Now, Gianni Ligori, a very good young prospect from Connecticut, an accomplished high school wrestler, just a tremendous all-around athlete. When you look at him in the ring, you can see he's in great shape. He comes to fight every single time. Had a draw in his first pro fight. Since then has won 4 in a row. What have you seen, Mariano, in the progression of Ligori, who is really climbing the ladder fast? Tonight he's in his first 6-round fight. He's wasting no time.
Absolutely. And he started his career in the Dominican Republic, actually, the 3 first fights in the Dominican Republic. Then he moved out to Florida, and he was training under Stacey McKinley. And I feel like that's where you saw a lot of improvement in his boxing. So he's ready to take off now. He signed with CES last year, one of 3 fighters that were pretty high profile, alongside Tyler McCurry, who was in action last time around, and Will Gilmet, who's also from Rhode Island. So I think his career takes off starting here.
Ligori tonight taking on Deontay Williamson in a 6-round bout, and also just a great feel-good story tonight. Thomas Evans, if you've been with us in the past, you've seen Thomas Evans with CES MMA. Thomas retired in 2020. He's now a patrolman in the state of Rhode Island. Tonight he comes back to the ring, not the cage, for his first and maybe his last pro boxing fight, and he's doing it in honor of the Central Falls Youth Baseball League, which he is a part of, raising money, donating all the proceeds for that. It's just a great story for Thomas Evans. Now, he is working with, on the side here, Peter Manfredo Sr., who was his first coach. He's now training him coming into this fight. What kind of acumen does Manfredo Sr. bring? And in your conversations with Thomas Evans, what can we expect tonight?
Well, you know, Peter Manfredo Sr. has developed, every trainer has a sort of master project, and for him it was his own son, right?
Yes.
He took him very near the top, world title shots. So I think he's learned a lot from Peter Manfredo Sr. as far as boxing, but this guy already knew how to fight, right? It may be his pro debut, but he's had 6 professional fights. I think it was 4 of them in Muay Thai, two of them in MMA with CES MMA. So he knows how to fight.
A lot of guys will tell you fighting's fighting. Once that bell rings, the instincts kick in, and we can maybe expect to see that from Thomas Evans. This is a great fight card. Those are just the tip of the iceberg. Really, we have 6 amazing fights tonight. Please stay with us here on Boxing TV. Don't go anywhere. We're going to bring you all the action. And with that, we're going to send it up to ringside, and our official ring announcer, Adam Palazzo, who's ready to introduce the first fight of the evening. Get his way to the ring from Brockton, Massachusetts, Stephen Davis, Mariano Agmi, Michael Parenti, bringing you all the action here on Boxing TV. Thank you for joining us here. Once again, we're at Road Wars 5 from the beautiful, historic Park Theater in Cranston, Rhode Island. Now, Stephen Davis has been around the block a few times, so to speak. 7-1 record, but a very, very tough competitive fighter, 35 years of age, coming in from Brockton. The last time out was in November at Mohegan Sun, where he lost and went the distance with Carlos Ojeda Perez. Davis is the kind of guy who can play spoiler on any given night, and possibly with an opportunity to do so tonight. One of those tough veteran fighters that's always in the gym, always ready to go. Absolutely.
Only stopped once, Mike. So he can go rounds. He's going to give Axel Lopez a test.
And his opponent making his way to the ring, Axel Lopez.
Axel Lopez making his Rhode Island and his CES debut tonight, coming in from Fall River, Massachusetts. Just 27 years of age, already a 3-0 record. All 3 wins have been by knockout. As we take a quick look here at the tail of the tape, both fighters coming in at the 135-pound weight limit. Lopez last time out was in November also. First-round knockout win over Kerry Williams. That was in Revere, Massachusetts. Now, Lopez fights out of Bernardo Boxing. You see his head trainer, Aaron Bernardo. He himself made his professional boxing debut last month and scored a first-round knockout win. So congratulations to Aaron Bernardo. Lopez coming with a lot of pedigree. Should be a very interesting fight. Let's send it back up to Adam Palazzo with the official introduction.
The following bout is scheduled for 4 rounds in the lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks. He weighed in at 136 pounds. Tonight he fights in his 10th pro fight, hailing from the fighting city of Brockton, Massachusetts. Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Davis. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the gray and white trunks. He weighed in at 135 pounds. His pro record, perfect. 3 wins, no losses, with all 3 victories coming by way of knockout. Hailing from Viva for Riva, Massachusetts, ladies and gentlemen, Smooth Axel Lopez. The man in charge of the action when the bell rings, Mr. Joey Lapino.
We're ready to get underway with our opening bout here at Road Wars 5. Once again, Michael Parenti joined by Mariano Agmi, the CES boxing publicist, bringing you all the action here on Boxing TV. We thank you for joining us on this beautiful Saturday night, closing in on March. Doesn't feel like spring in New England. They just got whacked with a massive blizzard. More than 30 inches of snow in a lot of areas, including right here in Cranston, Rhode Island as well.
Yeah, Mike, a lot of sore backs with all the shoveling.
Axel Lopez in the black trunks. Rather, Stephen Davis in the black trunks. My apologies. Axel Lopez in the gray trunks with the white trim, making his Rhode Island debut, making his CES boxing debut as well.
And Mike, Axel started his career at welterweight and fought as high as junior middleweight. So it looks like he's kind of finding the right weight class. Today he's fighting at lightweight, so let's see how his body reacts to it, how much energy he has.
Yeah.
He looks good so far.
Lopez, 27 years of age. That's right around the time where fighters typically tend to develop and find the weight class that will suit them for the next few years. A lot of guys, of course, as they get older, if they continue to fight, they go up in weight. A lot of guys don't go backwards, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
Davis, as we mentioned, tough as they come, only stopped 1 time in 9 fights, and actually had a draw in August against Ryan Venable in Massachusetts. Prior to that, he had a little bit of a losing streak, but this is a guy, again, that we mentioned that can come in, he can play the role of spoiler any given night. Nice combinations here by Lopez.
Lopez being very disciplined, working behind the jab, trying to close the distance. And Davis looks like he's pretty tricky. He switches between southpaw and orthodox, tries to set traps and get out of the way.
Just over a minute to go in round 1. This one is scheduled for 4 in the lightweight division. First of 6 here tonight at the Park Theater in Cranston. Also a good test, too, for Lopez, who has not had a lot of rounds under his belt as a pro. He's won all of his fights by knockout. He's gotten through everybody quickly. Nobody has gotten out of the first round against him yet.
Yeah, it's really important to be tested, right? To go a few rounds and kind of see how your conditioning is, how you might respond to some adversity. So it is good to be fighting a guy who's a little bit more durable early in your career.
Appropriate step up, 4 fights into his career. This is the next level you want to compete at. See how you, like you said, how you do against some adversity. Maybe going deeper into a fight if this fight goes 3-4 rounds. How's your cardio hold up? Those are all questions that the Lopez camp wants to answer at some point, and this is a good level to do so.
Exactly.
15 seconds in round number 1.
And Davis responds.
And there's the bell. And Lopez, the combined record of his first 3 opponents, 0-13. It's not pretty, but you can't judge it by the record because Stephen Davis is 1-7-1, and you would think the same. But this is a guy who is a significant step up from Lopez's first 3 opponents, and we can't stress that enough.
Without a doubt. And, he's the first one to make it out of the first round. He, as I mentioned, he got a little aggressive towards the end, so it'll be good to see how this round plays out. If he continues to be aggressive or if he kind of is back on the back foot.
Round 2, this one's scheduled for 4. It's our opening bout here at Road Wars 5. We thank everybody for joining us on Boxing TV. Michael Parenti, Mariano Agmi. Bringing you the action live from the Park Theater in Cranston, Rhode Island. Lopez in the silver and white trunks. Davis in the black. Nice body work there by Lopez. Goes back upstairs.
And you see Lopez has a Cuban flag on his trunks, and if he's part of that Cuban school of boxing, they're always very technically proficient. Not always as aggressive, but it looks like Lopez has enough aggression here where he's trying to get the knockout.
For every 1 punch Davis throws, Lopez throws 4 or 5, and volume always matters in the eyes of judges. You do have to land, but volume always works. The more you throw, the more opportunity to land.
Bit of a chess match now where they're both waiting to see who's going to make the first move so they can counter.
.90 seconds to go here in round 2. Lopez still working on that timing. And Davis is a pretty orthodox fighter. He's not one of those awkward style fighters that you face early in your career. Big swinging, looping right hook there, misses wildly by Davis. But occasionally he unloads one like that. Every now and then it keeps you on your toes, and that's what Lopez has to do, is not get lulled into any false sense of security. Keep the guard up.
And Mike, as you were saying, a lot of these young guys in the beginning of their career, they're not meant to lose, right? So you're developing them. But it is an art form to develop these fighters. So you want to give them different looks. You want to give them different, maybe different height, different reach. Just give them some adversity so that they're learning on the job for when they do take that step up and then they're in 50-50 fights.
A lot of the great matchmakers in history, the Bruce Tramplers, Johnny Boz, Russell Peltz will tell you the same thing. It's a progression. It really is, like you said, an art form to bring up a young fighter to get him or her to 8-0, 9-0, 10-0, with each fight being a little tougher than the last one.
Exactly.
Nice action here by Davis. Momentarily has Lopez backed into the corner. Lopez is getting some work here. This is the most work he's had as a pro.
Yeah, he's in against a savvy guy who, as I mentioned earlier, maybe switches his stance. He's letting his hands go, so...
And once Davis starts to pick up the pace, Lopez responds. Nice straight right hand there. So Lopez has been up for the task. And there's the bell for round number 2. So again, another
CES would like to thank our friend Arthur
Lopez,
Pimer
and
and Express Printing, located in Fall River.
And this is what you want to see is a guy who's on the B side who actually came to win, came to fight.
One thing about Davis, as we mentioned, he's not a candidate to get stopped early or even often in a fight. And he's giving Lopez some work here. You see some of the replay action. Davis working the body there nicely. Good 4 or 5 punch flurry there by Davis, and Lopez responded nicely to close out the round. So again, he's getting some work. He's getting tested. He's getting pushed more than he has. And really, this is a good opportunity here for Lopez. Now, he did fight for CES as an amateur. In fact, he was a participant in the Jimmy Birchfield Invitational. And so he has experience on this platform, but now things obviously change. The lights get a little bit brighter as a pro, and so we'll see how Davis's career progresses, or rather Lopez's career progresses. But pretty good start here, pretty solid first couple of rounds. We're halfway through this opening bout, and here we go with the bell for round number 3.
And Mike, speaking of the Jimmy Birchfield Classic Invitational, it's a great experience for a lot of these amateur fighters who are able to compete on the same day as professional fighters that they look up to oftentimes, and they get to do it in in a variety of venues, from Mohegan Sun Arena to Foxwoods and to Lowell Memorial Auditorium, etc. So it's great preparation for when they're in the spotlight themselves as professionals, as Axel Lopez is.
No, I think you're right, and it's a great opportunity to watch from afar, learn what it takes to be a pro in and outside of the ring, which are two entirely different things. And a lot of the young fighters can do that by emulating what they see from their older counterparts. Round 3 of a schedule 4. Once again, Michael Parenti, Mariano Agmi bringing you the action here on Boxing TV.
Axel Lopez is staying very disciplined behind that jab. He's varying it to the head and body.
That jab setting up the right hand for Lopez.
And if you're Davis, what you want to do is throw with him and see if you can catch him off guard with one of those shots.
And again, we mentioned Davis is not a high-volume puncher, and that's probably how he survived as a pro and not getting stopped or not getting knocked out, is he's not willing to or necessarily get into the kind of phone booth type of fight where guys can get caught. And Davis doesn't really do that all that often, so he gets through 4 rounds. He gets through 6 rounds. He lives to fight another day.
Yep. He's making a living off of it, right?
And he sure does.
Yeah.
But at the same time, gives your prospects work.
Definitely.
And that's what he's doing here for Axel Lopez. Ken Lopez training out of the Bernardo Boxing Academy in Fall River, Massachusetts. Making the trip here to Rhode Island tonight. Everybody digging out from that blizzard on Monday. And we're hoping you're safe and warm tonight on Saturday night. Oof. Final minute here of round number 3. Every so often, Davis slips in a stiff jab, keeps Lopez on his toes. Nice left there on the break by Davis.
Yeah, he really is trying to catch him off guard after Lopez finishes his attack.
He's still making him work. Every so often when you think that Lopez is really starting to take over the fight and build some momentum and some combinations, Davis sneaks a couple shots in there and forces Lopez to adjust mid-round. It's been a good learning lesson here as we get to the final bell of round 3.
Nice counter right hand from Lopez.
Great job there by Lopez at the bell. 3 rounds in the books here of a scheduled 4-round lightweight bout here at Road Wars 5. And Mariano, take a look here at some of the replay action.
You see the fight is
Wading into the deep waters for the first time as a pro as he goes into the 4th and final round of a fight. Nothing like having to sweat out the scorecards for the first time as a pro. Now, he probably won't have to sweat this one out, but in theory, the first time going to the cards and waiting for that judge's decision. And listen, we've seen some crazy ones in the past, so never count anything out.
You never know in boxing.
And here we go for the 4th and final round. Referee Joey Lupino drawing the assignment for this first bout of the night. And again, we'll just give you a quick reset here. Axel Lopez from Fall River in the silver and white trunks. Stephen Davis from Brockton, Mass. in the black trunks. An all-Massachusetts battle here in our opening bout on Boxing TV, Road Wars 5. Another outstanding fight card here from CES Boxing, the leaders in New England.
And Mike, it'll be interesting to see here if Lopez wants to go for the knockout as they start to trade here, or
Davis might be going for that knockout too.
Or if he's going to keep his composure. And it looks like he is trying to get his 4th knockout in a row.
Yeah, Lopez pick up the pace here a little bit. Davis trying to counter. The action getting a little chippy here in this 4th and final round. I think there's some pressure too to always want to close out the show.
Oh yeah. And this is it. This is your chance to make your final statement. Nice body work there.
If you remember,
from
years
Lopez.
ago, Ty Brunson from Philadelphia had that long first-round knockout streak. And there's always some pressure as he got deeper into that streak. And I don't remember how long the streak
It's like
lasted
19
for.
or-
Maybe 19,
Yeah.
20 fights of knocking out all of his opponents in the first round. It's like a home run streak. It's like chasing a home run record in baseball.
Yeah.
There's inherent pressure as you go further along.
Yeah, it gets harder and harder to do it. And you're also sacrificing the rounds where you're not gaining as much experience as you could because everything is ending so quickly.
This is the kind of fight, and again, as we mentioned, Lopez learning a lot more on the job tonight than he did in his first 3 fights. There's no question about that. I'm sure the camp will have a chance to go back to the drawing board after this one and see what worked, see what might need a little of improvement. But so far, it's been a very good effort from Davis and a strong performance from Lopez, who's simply been the aggressor tonight in this fight. One thing, too, Mario, that I always like to look for with young fighters is how they cut off the ring when an opponent is circling. And I think Lopez has done a nice job of that
I think
tonight.
he's done a pretty good job, yeah, especially 3 fights in. This is his 4th fight. He's done a pretty good job of trapping Davis.
Which isn't to say that Davis has tried to run, but at times when Davis has backpedaled, Lopez has been able to cut off the angle and keep him engaged.
Yeah.
That's sometimes something that fighters don't learn that early in their career. 45 seconds to go. Lopez trying to put the finishing touches on, by all accounts, what will likely be win number 4 once we go to the cards, if we get to the cards. Lopez still trying to land some combinations. Davis with one last surge, lands a nice left at the bell, but
Too little, too late.
will probably be too little too late, but a spirited effort. Once again, Stephen Davis coming in and giving you a show, and Axel Lopez looked pretty sharp here tonight, Mariano.
Yeah, look, good performance. I would have been very impressed if he stopped Davis because he's only been stopped once, but I felt that Axel Lopez was very disciplined. He used his jab well, he cut off the ring well, as you mentioned, and he varied his punches to the body and head. So overall, good performance from Axel Lopez.
No doubt Lopez came in with the game plan, understanding the kind of opponent that Davis is, and knowing that Davis is not the kind of guy that you're going to get out there with a couple of shots. I think that leads to perhaps more of a reserved game plan coming in and looking at this as an opportunity to get those rounds that he needed, which isn't to say that you're trying to carry anybody. That's a dangerous thing to do in boxing. But he took what the opponent gave him. He came forward the whole night. He was aggressive. And by all accounts tonight, win number 4, and I was impressed with what I saw for the first time.
Yeah, for sure. And he switched things up a bit. There were times when, Davis had him against the ropes, and Axel was able to kind of show a different dimension. Fought well off of that, was able to turn things around, and I think he dominated the fight.
I think Lopez, in the end, faced just enough adversity, but comes through swimmingly. And we'll see what the final tally is. With that in mind, we're going to send it back up to the center of the ring with our announcer, Adam Palazzo, who has the decision.
Fight fans, after 4 tough rounds, we go to the scorecards. All 3 judges, Apici, Scunzio, and Ezzo, score the fight 40-36 for your winner by unanimous decision, Axel Lopez.
This girl, she has the style, she gets the power.
I'm Amelia Moore, world-ranked professional boxer. New England doesn't build soft fighters.
And that is it. That is all she wrote.
I grew up here, made in the cold mornings, empty gyms, and long winters.
She got pinned up in the corner again.
Boxing for Team USA took me around the world.
And there goes that right
Oh,
hand.
yeah, working the body now.
March 28th, I fight for the NABF interim title. This isn't just another fight.
One of the bigger questions for this Boston squad is what can Amelia Moore do for an encore?
This is my next step towards a world title.
Hey, see, this could be the turning point of the event here.
This could be it. I know Boston is counting on these
Scan the QR code. Use promo code MORE. Choose your seats. See you March 28th.